is rarely pure and simple, by Amethyst Unarmed, read by Kaiinbed. Part 2 of the Truth series. Relationship includes DabiHawks. Additional tags: Hurt Comfort, Angst, Truth Quirk Accident, Hero Commissions A+ Parenting, Hawks Acts Like a Bird, Implied Child Abuse, Pining, Endeavor's Bad Parenting, Dabi is Todoroki Toya, Protective Dabi, Hawks is a Mess, Mental Breakdown, Near Panic Attack. Summary: Hawks feels the air currents stiffen as Dabi forgets to breathe. It is silent for a moment, just long enough for Hawks to fear he's messed everything up, when Dabi restarts with a low shuddering inhale. Well, that solves it, doesn't it? Hawks tilts his head in confusion and looks up at Dabi, who smirks at him. Pack a bag, birdie. We're going home. AKA, Dabi makes Hawks an offer he can't risk believing. Hawks cries more in that afternoon than he has in his entire life. When he was a kid, his father used to hate when he cried. He always said that he didn't want a sissy for a son. And if his boy was gonna cry, he'd give him something to really cry about. So Hawks, before he was Hawks, learned to cry silently, masking his tears and his pillows so no one was the wiser. Then the Hero Commission put cameras in his quarters, and Hawks learned not to cry at all. But now it seemed the tears couldn't stop flowing from him. Like every sob he's ever held back is taking its revenge. He had forgotten how physical crying is, the force that expels through his chest when his breath hitches. His eyes itch and he can barely breathe. He's certain he's going to have a headache after this, but still, he can't stop crying. He wonders if this is part of the quirk, if this is part of the truth that has been pulled from him, if even the sadness he feels at being forced to confront all that shit from his past is no longer his to control. The thought makes him sob harder. Despite the fact it must go on for hours, despite the fact Hawks is soaking his t-shirt with tears and snot, Dabi stays. He wraps his arms around Hawks' shoulders and hugs him tight to his chest. He rubs circles against Hawks' back and makes soothing noises when waves of shuddering wails hit him. It's mortifying and demeaning, and Hawks is certain he'll hate himself tomorrow. But Dabi's touch is grounding, and his shirt is soft, and he stays, like no one ever has. Dabi stays and holds him, even when Hawks cries himself to sleep. When Hawks wakes up, it's dark outside. A glance at his cable box tells him he's been out for a couple hours, though it feels like it's been longer. His head is echoey from crying, and he was right about the headache. He's lying down on the couch, clutching a pillow to his chest. As he stirs, cool hands run through his hair, and Hawks chirps happily before he really thinks about it. The apparently not a pillow he is clinging to rumbles with laughter. Feeling better, little bird? Mentally, yes. Physically, no. His voice is hoarse and nasally from stuffed sinuses. My head is pounding, but your hand feels wonderful. Hawks replies, before groaning and hiding his face in Dabi's shirt. Apparently the quirk is still in effect. If he noticed, Dabi doesn't comment on it. You're probably dehydrated. Let me get you some water. Dabi mutters more to himself than to Hawks. He slides out from under Hawks, and if Hawks whines at the loss, who gives a fuck? Dabi's gonna kill him for betraying them anyway. Dabi brings Hawks back a glass, and Hawks eagerly downs it. The cold rests on the roof of his mouth and melts his budding migraine. He fights the urge to snuggle back into Dabi's side when he sits back down. Thank you, Hawks says, and after a moment adds, You're really good at this. Dabi raises an eyebrow at him. At what? Comforting people. What, didn't think villains could show empathy? Hawks shrugs. I mean, none of the Hero Commission did, so why would I? Dabi stares at him with some strong emotion Hawks can't place. The attention makes him flinch, so Hawks looks down at his hands instead. After a moment, Dabi sighs. I used to do it for my kid siblings whenever my bastard of a father was too rough with them. Hawks isn't looking at him before just from his tone. Hawks can visual the wild, angry smile on his face. So, I have a lot of practice. Oh, I'm sorry. You shouldn't have had to do that. Dabi snorts. Holy shit, you really mean that too? Always the damn hero, aren't you? Hawks shrugs. I'm not a hero. I'm not even a good person. Hawks feels the air current stiffen as Dabi forgets to breathe. It's silent for a moment, just long enough for Hawks to fear he's messed everything up. when Dabi restarts with a low, shuddering inhale. Well, that solves it, doesn't it? Hawks tilts his head in confusion and looks up at Dabi, who smirks at him. Pack a bag, Birdie. We're going home. What? Hawks gasps. I don't understand. We're going to the hideout. What the hell? Why? I'm a traitor. I'm a danger to the organization. Hawks squawks. Dabi rolls his eyes. Please, he scoffed. I knew you were the rat the whole time. You weren't exactly subtle with the hero act. And you just said you didn't want to. Hawks leaps to his feet. His wings snap close to him, trying to protect him from the intangible threat within him. But right now, he can't lie. Not even to himself. I was going to kill twice. There's a sharp gasp, while Hawks can't bear to look at him. Instead, he stares at the floor, refusing to face the hatred that must be glaring at him. He's honestly surprised he can't feel the temperature rising in the room, boiling over with Dabi's disgust. Once I told the commission about how his quirk had developed, Hawks swallows. They needed me to take him out. I was going to try to arrest him, because he's a good man, but I knew he would do anything to help the League, so I was going to have to. Hawks wants to fall to his knees and screech until his voice is hoarse. Instead, he fumbles out half-formed thoughts, trying to get Dabi to understand. That's why I can't. You shouldn't. The commission. If you save me, though. Hawks' hand reaches out and locks around the lamp on his end table. He yanks it towards him in an attempt to ground himself, and yanks the cord out of the wall. Fuck! He can't let go. Hawks hasn't stress gripped in front of another person in years, but he can't let go. He feels a blush rising in his cheeks, and it pisses him off. He can practically hear his handler screaming about how useless he is. Damn it all to hell. He shakes his hand, and the lamp rattles as he rolls it around, but still, he can't release his grip. Fuck! What? Dabi is clearly confused as hell, which isn't exactly surprising, but no less mortifying. Why are you holding a lamp? I can't let go. At this rate, he's considering just stapling his mouth shut. I'm too stressed out. Dabi blinks at him. Is this a bird thing? Hawk sighs. Yeah, it's a bird thing. Dabi gets up from the couch. With slow steps, clearly giving Hawks time to back away, he walks forward. All you gotta do is calm down, yeah? Then you'll let go? Hawk swallows and nods. Whether he's answering the question or giving Dabi permission to come forward, he isn't sure. Probably both. Dabi comes up to him and gently places his hands on Hawks' shoulders. His hands are heated now, and the warmth is palpable through Hawks' shirt. Hawks can feel a pleased croon building in his chest. The lamp drops to the floor. For a moment, Dabi and Hawks just stare at the shattered bowl, neither of them willing to address the fact that Hawks calmed down to such a degree from such a simple touch, from a supposedly sworn enemy. Dabi says after about 5 minutes of this, and Hawks wants to smack him. He waits for either the embarrassing questions or the degrading ribbing, both of which he knows Dabi would give him in spades on a normal day, but nothing about this has been normal. Little bird, Dabi asks, as he reaches up and tucks a loose strand of hair behind Hawks' ear. Do you want to kill twice? No, Hawks whispers. I'm absolutely terrified the commission will make me. I hate what I've become, what they want me to be. And what do you want? What would make you happy? Hawks gives a watery smile. I'm not sure I remember what it's like to be happy anymore. Dabi takes a deep breath, and he holds out his hand. Then come with me and find out. Without a moment of hesitation, Hawks takes it. He's always been too fast for his own good. Why stop now? You have just finished listening to Is Rarely Pure and Simple by Amethyst Unarmed. If you enjoyed the story, please leave them some feedback on archiveofourown.org/works/23955259. And if you enjoyed my reading of the story, you can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/justsayinbed. Hawks isn't looking at him, before just from his tone, Hawks can visual... What? Hawks isn't looking at him, before just from his tone. Hawks isn't looking at him, What? Hawks isn't looking at him. Before, just from his tone, Hawks can visual the wild, angry smile on his face. What? Okay.